So we're gonna be going over the GHR, so the glute ham raise. So this apparatus is something that you're gonna see pretty commonly in private gyms, strength-oriented gyms, powerlifting gyms, even athletic performance gyms. And the reason for that is because it is a very widely applicable movement. Obviously you have, something like this, which you can do reverse hypers on as well, but the glute ham raise portion, I think, is gonna be an incredibly important movement for a lot of people to understand, but I've seen it done incorrectly so many times, and a lot of people just can't really understand how to actually set it up for themselves to where they can get the most out of the movement. So that's kind of what we're gonna be going over here today. So the first thing to understand is the back pad here. So this back pad, this back platform, it can adjust, and you need to adjust it according to your own lever lengths, your own body type. So here, clearly this is gonna be too small for me and my leg length, right? I would not be able to actually fit in this. I would be completely out of position. So the first thing you wanna do is you want to adjust this back platform to make sure that your knees are behind this sloped pad. And I'll show you what that looks like in a second. Second thing is most glute ham raises can adjust this back platform up or down. So if you want to make it harder, so if you wanna make the movement harder, this goes up. If you wanna make it easier, this goes down. And the reason for that is how your body is actually being pivoted around this pad. If you're at a downward slope with your feet being higher, you're actually contracting against gravity more. And then vice versa, if you're at an upward slope, you don't have to hold on to nearly as much of your own body tension, body weight. So getting into the glute ham raise, a lot of people kind of get a little bit nervous and freaked out about doing this, but it's generally okay as long as you don't miss the ankle pads. So again, like what I was talking about, you wanna have your knees behind this pad, right? So you can see that here, my knees aren't on top. They're sitting pretty comfortably on this pad. And the reason for that is whenever I'm actually pushing my heels back into this platform here, I should be able to comfortably have the upward slope, so that rounded part of the pad here on my lower thighs. So as I'm extending down here, I should pretty comfortably be able to do that, and I shouldn't slip and slide down through to the bottom of this pad. So this is a pretty good position for me, but obviously other people are going to differ in their lever lengths here. And with these glute ham raises, again, the most important aspect here is your hip position and keeping it extended, because if the hips break into flexion, it really takes a ton of the effectiveness of the movement away, and it takes the tension out of your hamstrings and places them back in the glutes. And it really just, it minimizes what the movement utility is supposed to be. So because the movement is so difficult to really learn without doing it, and a lot of people are gonna struggle with the requisite strength to perform the movement with your hips extended, I like to regress immediately so that people can understand what it's supposed to feel like to go through the entire range of motion with the hips extended and with the proper positioning. So here I just have a pole. It can be really anything. You can do these band assisted as well, but this is gonna be a little bit easier for most people to understand. So again, starting from the position of proper hip position and placement, keeping them tucked, keeping your abs bared down a little bit. You don't wanna be extended through the low back. So I can slowly work myself through here, getting that knee extension, and then slowly walk myself back up without breaking my hip position. So that's, again, crucial. I'll do that one more time. I'm not really worried too much about using my upper body as assistance. I'm more so thinking about what my hips are doing, because that's where the utility of the movement's coming from. So keeping my hips extended, locked out, slowly walking myself down, whoopsie, and then back up slowly, keeping the tension in my hamstrings and continuing to pull through my hamstrings there as well. So these glute ham raises, phenomenal for creating rigidity, creating flexibility through your hamstrings, but also injury prevention. So you're gonna get a ton of different benefits from being able to perform this movement correctly, similar to like a Nordic hamstring curl, but I think that glute ham raises are a bit easier to perform and to perfect. So I recommend them for most people. But just like with a Nordic hamstring curl, with a lot of other specific lower body movements like this that have a lot of carryover and utility, being able to perfect the positioning is almost more important than anything else within the movement. So get that down, whether you have to use assistance, whether you have to use, any other cues, and then you can actually perform the movement with your body weight and then eventually weighted and continue to progress along that path.